with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We miss you, Dan. Next, can I please have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Okay, with
Whitby.
Yes.
a vote of 7-0, motion carries. Next, we have our superintendent's report.
Greetings, East Point Community Schools. Welcome to those of you joining us here live and in person, and to those of you watching at home. A big thank you to the city of East Point. We did have an inclement weather day on Monday, and due to the road conditions in East Point, we decided to cancel our meeting on Monday night and come here to City Hall on Wednesday tonight. So I'd like to thank East Point City Hall for allowing us this opportunity to be with you here this evening. We are East Point Community Schools. We're proud of what we do and how we do it in service to our community. I want to remind the community and those of you watching from home about winter weather reminders. Districts in Michigan do receive 6 snow days per year. Waivers can be applied for, but there is no guarantee. Thus far, East Point Community Schools has used 4 snow days. Students, I love you, but Instagram and asking me if school's going to be on tomorrow, I'm not going to reply to everybody. We will communicate weather cancellations as timely as possible to allow parents to make other arrangements so that they could still work. We use the district website as our primary mechanism. We also use a robocall that goes out to all parents via our student information system. So if you are a parent that has had a phone number change, it's really important that you update your number in PowerSchool for us so that you could get that robocall. The team also updates all the local news channels, our district website, and social media. So while I love the student engagement and the parent engagement, just know we will communicate those using our single sources of truth, website, robocall, website, our local website, news channel websites, and social media. Per our student handbook, I want to make sure families know students don't go outdoors for recess if the temperature is below 15 degrees or the wind chill is below 10 degrees. Now that is still pretty darn cold. So we do allow schools to make that choice based on weather conditions and if kids all brought their coats and hats, and we can keep kids safe. Families who are not receiving calls for the snow calls, I saw a few people post on the residence page, just make sure that you don't have our number inadvertently blocked as well. That'll help make sure that you get clear communication from East Point Community Schools. And thank you to those of you who repost our post. We do appreciate you helping to make sure communication goes out. The Board of Education tonight is going to vote on a non-homestead renewal, and they're going to call an election to replace the district's non-homestead operating millage. The team is going to talk a little bit more about that. The board has been having workshops about this and learning more about how the Headley Override Amendment has caused the school district to lose operating mills. I want to make sure residents know, and I know my team will bring it up later, that it's not levied on a homeowner's primary residence. The millage applies to businesses and second homes, vacant land, and rental property. So our work on our non-homestead renewal will not affect you if you're the primary homeowner. It is for those that do not own the home. So the team will talk about that a little bit more on our board agenda, and the board will act on adding that. If the team does approve that this evening, we will be calling for a May election. It will be primarily to restore the full 18 mills, and what we'll be asking for is 22 mills, so that as the Headley Amendment reduces those, we're still able to levy all of the money from our community to operate our school district. Tomorrow evening, we will be offering a parent online resource session at 6 p.m. via Zoom. A workshop announcement went out to all families today. I want to make sure that our families and our community knows this is a service that Homeland Security provides, a resource to help inform parents. There are many divisions of Homeland Security. This does not mean that the district condones any actions by ICE. This does not mean that any data is being shared by our organization. It is simply an opportunity for us to have an expert who leads investigations on keeping kids safe all across the area available to learn some practical tips. I know I've got 4 teenagers at home, and there are some key things that we need to be doing to protect our kids. They will forget things like taking a picture in front of their address, wearing their, gear, that does put kids at risk. And that while the internet has created an opportunity for community, it's also creating an opportunity for predators. And our goal is to keep our community and our children safe. And I want to be clear again that Homeland Security is doing this as a service. No data is being shared. And we are here to protect our children and our data. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you join. It will be a Zoom session, and I look forward to learning more myself as a parent of teenagers. Last night, East Point High School hosted the Macomb County School Board Association dinner. I really would like to shout out Principal Todd Yarch, Assistant Principal Catherine Davis, Brittany Kepler, who helps to manage the building use, Wendy Coleman, Caitlin Keenitz, Heather Rogers of Human Resources, Amy Cirillo, and the ladies of the kitchen. We hosted about 75 people last night from all across the county. I've gotten many compliments and feedback today about how warm and inviting it was to come into our school community and how impressed they were with the students, the food, and the welcome that they got here from East Point. So thank you so much to Board President for all of her input in the planning and the idea, and to all of the team that executed that event. We don't have to host it now for another 4 years.
Yay.
So
We did it up big.
well, we did it up big this time. And we got 4 more years to start working on the next one. So East Point High School pool is open again. And I wanted to let you know, there's a soft rollout. You can see there is a lifeguard there on the deck. And we've got open swim happening with RARE in the evenings. Please check RARE's website for more information. We are hosting a lifeguarding class at the high school in partnership with RARE, and we are getting ready for swimming lessons as well. I think it looks fantastic. I'm pretty excited. I'm kind of shocked I wasn't the first person to do a cannonball in the pool, but I'll get over it. So please check out RARE's website for more information about how you can enjoy going for a swim in our community together. Athletics update. If you're watching, our boys basketball team is currently on a 7-game winning streak.
Yes.
And is unbeaten in the MAC Silver. Today, I actually got an email from MHSSA, the Michigan High School, MHSAA. I'm a dyslexic, so thank you. From Director William McCoy, complimenting the district on the amazing turnaround that our athletics program has made in the short time with new leadership. We're getting compliments from officials about being welcomed, clear communication, having a nice break room. Like, all of the little things are making a difference. We are getting emails from other athletic departments and other school districts about how welcoming our children are, what great athletes they are, and even more, what great sports they are. They recently traveled to New Haven, and it was a cold and blustery night in January, and it was their senior night. and they didn't have a very large crowd to celebrate their seniors. Our athletes left the bench, went and sat on the side and cheered for all of the seniors at another school as if they were friends of theirs. That kind of caliber of behavior and how we treat other people is the mark of what humanity is all about, and I am proud of our athletes. This week, Trayvon Kennedy is up for Athlete of the Week in Metro Detroit. I hope we'll send out that information again to everybody, but I hope our community rallies around him and helps to elevate him so that he can be named the Athlete of the Week in Metro Detroit. There is a game directly following this board meeting, so there is also a concession stand there in case anybody wants to grab a snack. I want to play this video one more time for our community. It is Board Appreciation Month. I again want to express my gratitude to this Board of Education for how they show up and ask questions about curriculum and our support and a guide on the side, President and Vice President over there in support of this superintendent and in support of this community. So let's all cross our fingers and hope sound works tonight and we can enjoy learning a little bit more about our board. Distribution at 9:30 a.m., East Point Middle School Circle Drive. February 16 and 17 is our midwinter break. That is a Monday, Tuesday. Thank you so much. That concludes the superintendent's report this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next, we have our first hearing of the public for agenda items only. Is there anybody who wishes to be heard? Seeing none, we're going to open and close at 5:46. Next, we have discussion items, business operation A. And we have several things that we need to go over. So we're going to pass it over to Mr. Dean. Dr. Dean?
Thank you, President Early. Appreciate it. You are correct at Crescentwood that changes that traffic pattern that's safer for our community. As this Board of Education knows, we did have a hearing hosted at Crescentwood, but hosted kind of jointly by this Board of Education, our superintendent, and the mayor of Warren. So we've kind of gone through that process to receive feedback. Based on that, administration is recommending the completion of that drive. It's going to keep our kids so much safer. They will now be getting out the right-hand side of the car. And anyone who's ever had kids or grandkids knows that we want to train our kids every time because you can get out there and get on a sidewalk. And now you're safe. And that's what we're really looking to do. So that's Bid Pack 10. I'm happy to answer any questions the Board of Education might have about it.
I want to.
Go ahead, you first.
I just wanted to talk about the traffic pattern. We, several of us was.
Matt, so not so much Matt, but you know what I'm talking about. They have that special. Did we get any of that?
I cannot remember, Vice President Roscoe specifically, if we have that softer surface underneath there. I do know playgrounds are one of the most regulated things that a school puts in. So we've put in the appropriate surface.
Sure.
Appropriate surface.
Sure.
But I'll be honest with you. I can't recall if it's the softer surface or it's the wood chips. Most districts choose the wood chips, but Superintendent seems to know the answer.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid.
Superintendent seems to know the answer.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid. There's some parts that will have the composite.
Yeah.
Most will have the wood chips, but I seem to remember in some of, it's not all of the schools, but I seem to remember Crescentwood having a different move to make a motion, and we'll move that action item on.
Okay, I will.
Move to make a motion, and we'll move that action item on.
Okay, I will. Sorry. I would like to make the motion to approve the Bid Pack 10 site work and playgrounds.
Support.
By many.
All righty. Okay, with motion and support, please call the vote. Who you got first, Chops?
Dr. Early,
Yes.
Mrs. Richardson,
Yes.
Mr. Williams, yes. Mr. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mrs. Chopra,
Yes.
Mrs. Whitby,
Yes.
and Mr. McCain.
Yes.
With a motion of
7-0.
7-0, motion's carried. Next, we have Bid Pack 11.
Thank you, by the way, for voting for Bid Pack 10. It's always exciting to do playgrounds. Our architectural firm and our construction management firm, and with Kerry Weissop and the team, this is really what we need to do. This is critical. Inside of Bid Pack 11, that we need to do, this is critical. Inside of Bid Pack 11, those 5 things are there, those 5 boilers. Yes, Mrs. Whitby.
I have a question. We were in the school yesterday and went to the restroom,
Yes.
and it was steam. So is it the water warm like that so that the pipes don't burst because they're old, or is that just?
So we have a couple things going on. One is, we've had the heat on full for the
Okay.
past week because we are concerned, as any large building would be, about pipes possibly freezing.
Okay.
So this past weekend, normally we turn the heat down on the weekends. This past weekend, I told the team, and they suggested keeping it all on full blast.
Okay.
Because in a building that size, school. So even if we do different work via a different bond at the high school, a year from now, 4 years from now, these boilers will appropriately connect to that system and do the right thing. So no way are you wasting money, but this really needs to happen. Someday I could show you, if you ever want to, just let me know. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars across this district to make sure our boilers are running. And you've changed the boilers at the elementary schools. Those boiler bills are not for what's going on at the elementary schools. It's what's going on at the middle school and high school because they're so old. So this will help that, but it will not solve all your heating issues. But that's not the only thing inside of Bid Pack 11, because one of the things that happens with bid packs, just like at home, your homes, we try to bundle things together to get a savings. So we put 3 things together here. We have the 5 boilers and the related work. The next thing we have, also at the high school, are that thing is being held together by duct tape. And we need that to really be replaced. This came to light, this Board of Education approved, remember you approved retubing the boilers?
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons we had to retube the boilers is the condensation line is no longer really intact, and it's just, we're running lots of water through there, it's rusting out, et cetera. It's time to replace that as well. We've bundled that into here because the same company that is going to install the boilers potentially will also be the same company that does the condensation line. We're gonna save money because we're giving them a lot of work all at one time. You also notice the Board of Education, the 2 of those 3 parts of that project,
Condensation.
And the condensation too. First phase, the boilers, how many phases and what would be the most critical area you're going to start when you do the boilers?
and maybe I misspoke and I apologize, they'll all be done concurrently. All 3 will be done at the same time. They're like 3 separate mini projects inside of one. A lot of different phases, like you do one thing, then another thing, then another thing. And if I used the word phase earlier, I apologize, I misspoke.
No, that's fine.
They're all gonna be done together, or simultaneously, pardon me,
Okay.
this summer.
Okay, and, okay, done simultaneously, but we have the the most best equipment, state-of-art equipment that we're going to have, or did we go generic? Did we go generic, or did you get us the best our money
It'll
would?
be-
About 3 times they've been
3 times,
replaced in
yeah.
the life, but these boilers they might be as old as me.
Yeah.
But, I think they're older than 35.
Yeah,
I have a question. The techniques and things, they're more up to date, more advanced than 30, 40 years ago. So are you still with the parts? Would the parts still you'd be able to get the parts quicker now than
Yeah.
before?
That's absolutely true. When we go to try to repair one of these current boilers, it is more difficult to get the parts. We will be able to get the parts easier. The strange thing is about this system, at the end of the day, these are steam boilers. They actually haven't, the science behind them hasn't changed a lot in the last 100 years.
Right, they
The
haven't
rules have changed. And to your point,
You made mention of the different parts, and that this is just phase 1 of heating and cooling, so to speak. The radiators that are in the school are a big part of the heating system. So in the package of upgrading the boilers, the second phase, I'm just looking into the future as we go through it. The second phase would be part replacing radiators or valves and different things of that nature. So, okay, yeah, I just answered my own question.
It cost us millions, $200 million something to replace that facility. We are not going to be able to get that kind of capital investment with the tax base that we have. We know we are going to have to keep East Point High School and continue to make tough decisions about how we move forward. This board set in place a plan. There are components of the plan that we do still have work to do, but we had a long-term facility master study done. We've done all of this deep work. We know we're going to keep this high school. John knows as he came in, he asked all the same questions the rest of our team had been asking for 2 years that this isn't going to change the lived experience for the teachers and the kids in the classroom. Fixing boilers is not as cool as a Mr. Whitby, right? Like fixing boilers, people will not really know about it because the heat will work. We will still have some rooms that are hotter than other rooms, depending on where they are in the line.
Right.
And you just identified, Secretary, that we're going to have a lot more work to do until the people in the building feel the difference. But we cannot keep spending hundreds of thousands of dollars repairing boilers that are.
Giving you a prelude. I'm going to try to go into a little bit more detail, and obviously either she or I can answer all these questions for you that you might have. But we're going to asking the Board of Education to approve a resolution that would call for a special election in May to update our non-homestead operating millage replacement. That's a lot of words. And most people don't know what a non-homestead millage is. So I'm going to try to walk you through that, okay? And I'm happy to answer any questions, okay? So this is an interesting thing. This is not a bond. This is not a sinking fund. Bond funds, sinking funds can only be spent on like specific things. Bond like on construction, sinking fund on construction or repairs. This is general millage funds that can be used for anything inside of the school, anything. Most of it, like most of our money, of course, is used for salaries for our employees. It's our largest cost center. Most of our millage money, of course, goes to our salaries. But it funds the day-to-day operations of our school district. Everything from textbooks to salaries to paying the electrical bill. All those things can be funded with this, okay? For our district, this millage generates this year around $5.7 million. So it is not an insignificant amount of money. It's a large amount of money, okay? Now, here's where it gets interesting, and I think like 99% of our general populace doesn't understand this. Now, you as board members know, we are funded by something called the foundation allowance. The state of Michigan goes through this whole budget gyration acrobatics every year to figure out what it is. This year, it's $10,050. And what most people think, because it's logical to think this, is that you would take that $10,050 the state sets, multiply it by your number of students, and whatever that simple multiplication was, that'd be how much money you as a school district would get to educate those kids. That's actually not what happens in the state of Michigan. What happens in the state of Michigan is the state does that math, 10,050 times your number of kids. But they don't give you that money. What they do is they assume by law under Proposal A that you have levied 18 mills on your non-homestead properties, okay? So what does that mean for us, okay? The state does the calculation, 10,050 times our kids, let's call that $30 million. It's about that for what it's worth. But then they assume that we levied 18 mills on our non-operating homestead properties. So what's non-operating? Superintendent Gibson said it earlier. It's non-operating is everything other than your primary residence. So it's commercial property, it's second homes, it's vacant land, it's rental property, okay? And every district in the state of Michigan is supposed to levy those 18 mills. But there's this fascinating amendment from the late 1970s called the Headley Amendment, and Mr. McCain would know about it as a city person because it impacts them. What that simplistically does is it rolls that millage back a little bit every year. Rolls it back a little one year, a little the next year, some years not at all, some years a little bit more. It relates to the rate of inflation. I won't get into the math, but it rolls it back. Ours has been getting rolled back since 2018. We're only levying 16.025 mills. The state assumes we levied 18. We didn't. we only levied 16.025 because of Headley rollbacks, a little bit every year, okay? So that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you could advance the slides by 2, I'm going to show you what the difference looks like. If you look up here, in 2025, I won't do all the math, but scroll your eye to the second column from the right. That's $6,406,021.37. That's our property values times the 18 mills that the state of Michigan assumed we levied. They think we got $6.4 million. We didn't levy that. We only levied $5.7 million worth of mills. So we missed $704,484.41 this year that we should have had to educate our kids, but we didn't have to educate our kids.
Wow.
The year before that was 540,000. The year before that, 348. You can see it kind of like grows every year as it rolls back a little bit every year. The only thing I can tell you for sure is next year, it'll be more than $704,000 if we don't do something. Okay? So, what are we asking, what are we hoping you approve to ask of the voters? To restore the millage to 18 mills and actually authorize up to 22 mills. That sounds very confusing, so let me kind of like explain what that means. You'd actually be allowed to levy 22 mills, but by state law, we can never levy more than 18. So it's a bucket of 18 and a bucket of 4. And if this passes, every year when that little bit rolls back off that 18, it can be replaced by that bucket of 4 over there a little bit, if that makes sense. There's almost like a scale that's happening over time. And this will hopefully protect those to allow us to levy the full 18 mills for the next 20 years, while that little bucket of 4 goes down a little bit every year. By state law, we can never levy all 22. We can only levy 18.
Just 18 of it, right?
I didn't put it in your packet, but because I'm a nerd, I did a nerdy thing, and I'm going to share, because some of you might want to know what's being levied by our other fellow districts. You saw all of them yesterday. 80% of the districts in Macomb County are levying 18 mills. There are 5 districts that are levying in the 17 mill range, and there's only 1 district that's levying in the 16 mill range, and that's East Point. So, because you're politicians, and I mean that as a compliment, not a criticism, we appreciate your service, but you might be asked at the Kroger parking lot, well, what's the big deal? One of the things you can now say is, every other district in this county is levying more than we are. And all of them but 5, I'll make sure you get the chart, I'll give it to Superintendent Gibson and send it off, are levying the full 18. So we're not asking you to do something that isn't being done everywhere else. The state, first, everywhere else is pretty much doing it. The state assumes we're doing it and actually penalizes us.
Not doing it.
We're not doing it, yeah.
So if you go back a couple slides to my little chart I had up there, I should have highlighted this. We've missed out on almost $2.5 million in 2019.
Wow.
So we're just, and notice, homeowners that own their home don't pay this. So it's kind of, I'm gonna use a non-technical, like fiscal term, it's a no-brainer from where at least I sit to join what's happening in all the other districts across Macomb County. And this is something we're gonna be asking then our voters to approve in May in a special election. I know it's confusing because it involves things like Headley, millage, there's 4, there's 22, but it's really 18 sort of thing. We know it's hard. Superintendent Gibson's already done a great job working to prepare communications. And notice, by the way, the school district can't tell people how to vote. We can only inform people of the facts. We recognize that, okay?
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of walk you through this and answer any questions you might have. Obviously, we'll do lots more communicating in the coming months to our community.
And John, you did provide the list to the
Oh, I
board?
did?
Yes.
Yeah,
It was in your original memo.
Yeah.
And you did have it, it's been uploaded into Board Book. The board already has that
I apologize for
information.
forgetting that I did that.
Well, it's okay. Past you, we're going to forgive you. Does the, again, so the ballot request for this evening is to call a special election on Tuesday, May 5th. Voters will be asked to replace the current millage with an 18 mill vote and a 4 mill cushion. So it'll be a 22 mill request, but they will only ever assess for 18. The 4 mill cushion would then protect us against future Headley Amendment rollbacks under the law. Does the board have any additional questions about the action? Trustee Chapa?
I don't, it's not about the action, but about the election. Is that going to be the only thing?
Is running out for you right now, so that you can see a sample of those. And I think that, yeah, I'll
we got
take
some.
one.
We have
They should be in your packet as well. We'll also have these for the community members here. We didn't want to be presumptuous and have them out on the table before. Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Fleming. Get your steps in tonight. But we have been working on the marketing material, the clear communication, the impact. We will have backpack letters go home with students. We will leave some of these here for the city as well. We will run some social media campaigns. I will make some informational videos as well. We'll run a number of some of our, yeah, I don't know if it's in this one, but we did look at that and pull that data as well. And we wanted to help our renters understand that they won't be impacted. It will be the landlord that would be impacted.
And they won't even notice.
Well, they might notice.
Because we're going to raise.
It could end up being a pass-through, and unfortunately, we will not be able to know that, but there's some information about that for the board in these talking points as well. What other questions might the board have regarding the recommendation to certify our operating millage election?
Do you have any?
I'm just going to kind of give you an update. Of where we sit in terms of the budget, budget development process. So Caitlin, if you could pull that up for me, that'd be great. But I'll start talking while she's getting that taken care of. So we are at the time of the school year where we are going to have to start developing our budget for next school year. And to me, this is one of the most important things that the school district does because it allocates our resources, thank you, and helps us make good decisions for moving forward. So if I could have the next slide, please, Caitlin, thank you. So
I just want to make sure you know that I click your slides for you.
I was like, I didn't.
I mean, I'm the highest paid clicker ever, right? Like, come on.
Thank you. So what's the purpose of this timeline? Timeline is just to provide guidance to us to a complicated process, okay? So it's going to guide our work. It's going to provide clarity. It's going to let everyone in the community know, our board, our administration, our teachers, our John KQ citizen, how are we going to go through this process of developing a budget? Our budget's around $40 million. That's a big thing. So we need to have some process around how we're going to do that. It clarifies opportunities to all parties so that everyone can have input. You're the board. You make the final decision. But part of this process is all the different stakeholders having input. So what are these components inside of this timeline? And I know you have the copy of the timeline in front of you. First is we're going to gather a lot of data. Okay? Some of that data is from the state of Michigan. We're going to listen to the House, the Senate, and the governor about what they think the foundation allowance and school budgeting could look like. Okay? We'll listen to our professional organizations, Michigan Association of School Administrators. You as board members will listen to MASB about what you're hearing might be happening at the state level from a budget perspective. Internally, and we've been spending our time doing this a lot in the finance office last month, we're analyzing our current budget. Because how can we think about our next budget if we don't exactly know where we stand on our current budget? We're figuring out what's our priorities. What's the things we need to do next year that may be the same as this year? Are there different things we need to do? So developing priorities around making decisions, okay? And then finally, if we go back one slide, Superintendent Gibson, sorry. We're gonna finalize that budget, gathering all that information in one spot, and in June, by law, you're gonna have to approve a final budget. So a couple of key things, I didn't print them all, but the key things off this budget timeline. Next slide, please. In February, next board meeting, I won't be asking you to vote on it, but we're gonna bring you a budget amendment. That's an update of where our budget sits to date. You'll be asking you to adopt that amendment at the second board meeting in February. Currently, our cabinet of executive administrators are looking at the current budget, reviewing current spending. And then in February, we're also going to pay attention because the governor's going to have her State of the State address in the end of February, somewhere in the 20s of February. It's on the document. In March, people from my office, namely me, along with Sam Sheets, will be meeting with building principals and directors to discuss budget priorities for their individual departments for the following year, okay? We'll also in March start hearing what the House and the Senate, as well as the governor, want to do in terms of funding. I don't know what it'll say, but I guarantee you they'll all be very different. In this current world of divided government, they're all going to be significantly different. In April, next slide, please. I know you are. There we go. I'll start bringing to you some budget assumptions. I'll have an idea of what our projected enrollment looks like. We'll probably have a document with 3 different columns, one for the House, one for the Senate, one for the governor of, these are the 3 different foundation allowances. What would that impact be? We'll start bringing back to you, these are some, what we're thinking about for our budget would look like. And very importantly in May, we'll have something called the Consensus Revenue Estimating Conference for May. We just had one for January, where the House, the Senate, and the governor all get together in public and decide and agree on how much money is in the school aid fund and how much money is in the general fund for the state of Michigan. And then in June 8th, we'll have a public hearing on the proposed budget. By law, you must have one of those. Our plan is to have one on June 8th. And then at the final board meeting in June, you would have an adoption meeting where you would adopt the 26-27 budget. So that's our current budget timeline. Things change. For example, when I put this together at first, I thought the governor stated the state would be in January. She then announced it would be in February, so we changed it. So this document will change because it's just a plan. Plans can change.
Right.
But the goalposts aren't changing. The goalpost is have a budget in place by the end of June. By state law, we have to have that. So that's our plan from a budget timeline perspective. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the process or about components inside of that timeline.
Questions?
It's self-explanatory. I like the plan because things are going to change, so it's hard to really get a question.
Thank you so much, John Dean. The Board of
Okay, next we have the second hearing of the public. Is there anybody who wishes to be heard? No? Okay.
Charles.
All right, us hearing of the public opens and closes at 6:26. Next, we have trustee announcements. Which way did I start? This way. Mr. McCain.
Good evening, everyone. Lots of exciting things happening. Great job, I want to say, to the East Point High School and administrative team on the event last night. It was a lot of fun, and I think folks really enjoyed themselves. It's always nice when we can welcome folks into our community and show them, what Shamrock Pride is all about. So,
That's cool.
and that's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
In the movie I was looking at the other day.
I don't have much tonight, except that the event last night really blew me away. I think we should have the Hall of Cheer every time. I could not stop smiling. I could not. But anyway, thank you to everybody who was involved in putting that together. It was very impressive.
Oh, it's me, my turn.
Yes, it is.
What trustee Ian said and what Chopper said, I concur. But I want to say this, and it's all, I think about it all the time. We have the greatest East Point administration
Yes,
this side of the Mississippi.
yes.
And I will put our administration, letting the old guy roll with y'all, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Which is good, so it's just, everything is just clicking. Let's continue to click and get this work done. Thank you.
Amen.
Okay, Mr. Williams. I'll roll this way. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Board, and thank you, community, for allowing me to serve you all. I'm excited, children, from our basketball team to go to another city like New Haven and show that type of humility. And that put on a display of, like Mr. Roscoe said, of our teachers, our professional teams, everybody that's pouring into our kids. It's showing, and I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and a baby doesn't come out walking. They start crawling first. So one step at a time, but I think we're moving in the right direction in so many different areas. If you haven't come out to see East Point Community Schools, come give us a visit. Take your pick. We got a few of them. Thank you.
I'm just urging the parents to please log on tomorrow at 6 PM for Homeland Security to keep the kids safe. Just like what my fellow board member said, it was a wonderful time yesterday, and I really, really, really enjoyed the cheerleaders. I almost did a split. But I said, no. It was like they were shaking their pom-poms as you walked in, just like if you were at a football game. You know how they look cute. And then I'm also excited about the pool. Now I'm waiting patiently, Rare, for water aerobics. Yeah, waiting on that. Keep up the good work, Shamrock athletes. And I will be at one of your games. Also, if you're not going to the game, please go over to Cloverleaf because they're doing a fundraiser for Forest Park Elementary today. And they
And
close at 8
it
o'clock.
goes until 8 o'clock, and it also counts for takeout orders. Thank you so much, Trustee Whitby. I was remiss in adding that to the superintendent's report. So Cloverleaf tonight, 4 till 8. I believe the staff is all there right now. And it applies to takeout orders. So if you did not have dinner plans, you do now. You're
Yep.
going over to
We're
Cloverleaf.
going over to Cloverleaf.
Going over the club.
Okay, thank you.
I forgot
Super-
Kids, hurrah. And I think I'm really proud of Trayvon and the boys' basketball team. And I just like to put out a small challenge to the children and the parents. Before the break, if we can just set aside 15 minutes to spend with the kids and ask them what had they learned today. And the next day, ask them what did they learn that they did not know the day before. And that goes for not just our elementary, but it goes all the way up to our high school students, because it opens up an avenue to hear and to see what is happening with our children in the schools, and it also keeps our teachers on their toes. And so please, sir, please, ma'am, take 15 minutes out and challenge your children to share with you what they had done that day in the schools. And as some of you know, this is getting toward the end of my term, and I am really enjoying each and every last one of you, because you make it seem like a family, and we're keeping the kids in front. And for that, I thank each and every one of you. Was that 30 seconds?
No, he was taking 30.
seconds. That was your time.
Thank you so much. I normally don't say anything. I always I try to let the trustees speak, and I'm not gonna let today be any different. Meeting closed, 6:36. Adjourned.
Just clear out of that.